Tim's neighbor bang on the wall during the stream.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to UFO Man Live. I see we got some people in the chat room. We got Bobby Broadway, and welcome. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the alien abduction phenomenon. And before we do that, I'm going to have everybody on my panel introduce themselves, starting with the lady in the house, Through the Veil Paranormal.
Hey guys, I am Nicole Stroud with Through the Veil Paranormal. Yes, I can talk. I am a psychic medium, also investigator for Through the Veil Paranormal. You can find me on Twitter at @through_veil. You can also find our group on Facebook under Through the Veil Paranormal. And you can also find me here on YouTube at Through the Veil Paranormal.
Okay, Jax.
Hi, my name is Jax. I'm from Paranormal Underworld here on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter at para_underworld.
Okay, and Tommy?
Hi, folks. I'm Tommy Highway, and I'm actually an engineer, a ufologist, former government employee. I'm an author, and I currently run the channel Tommy Highway TV. So if politics is your thing, please come over and see me. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm Tim, and also known as UFO Man, as everybody knows. And okay, let's move on. Tonight, we have a free drawing for a wall poster, and we're going to be doing that about midway through the stream. So if you entered, good luck. All right.
I forgot something, Tim. If I could do a special shout out real quick.
Oh, yeah, go right ahead, Tommy. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Special shout out to Amy M. Very awesome person, co-worker, and dear friend of mine. Amy, thank you.
Cool. Anybody else want to do a shout out? No? Okay. All right. We're good. All right. Tonight we're going to discuss alien abduction. And before I play any video footage, I want to ask the people on the panel what their opinion is of the phenomenon. Tommy, what do you think?
Well, I think that I think something's happening to these people. I think not necessarily everybody, but I think that there are certain people that have claimed alien abduction, missing time, and those kinds of things that really have some evidence behind them that really can't be ignored. We're going to discuss the Betty and Barney Hill thing this evening, which is very interesting. And wait till you hear some of the audio from the hypnotic sessions, or hypnosis sessions, I should say. I mean, you know, some of these people are probably crackpots, but some of these people are very credible.
Right. What do you think, Nicole?
Actually, yeah. I mean, I actually can believe that this is something that is occurring. You have a lot of people that's going through almost like a PTSD syndrome. I mean, they're absolutely scared of something. You cannot be scared of nothing. Right. So there's got to be something going on.
Right. What do you think, Jax?
I agree with both of the other guests. Absolutely.
I have to say that I agree as well, and based on the fact that I've had personal experiences where I've awakened in the morning and actually found marks on my body that weren't there the night before. And later on, I will be showing some overlays to show people what kind of marks are being left, specifically like scoop marks. Hi, Rene. Thank you for the woo, pump it up, UFO Man. I appreciate it. Good to see you here. Okay, I have a video here that I got ready. It is a real alien encounter. It is a news report on Fox 10 News showcasing the Calvin Parker, Charles Hickson UFO alien abduction scenario back in, I think it was 1973, by the Pascagoula River. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but anyways, yes, here we go. Screen. All righty.
Are we alone? Is Earth really the only planet with life, or is something else out there? Here's investigative reporter Shelby Myers with a story that just might make you rethink everything.
It's been a debate for decades. Are aliens out there, and have they ever made contact with us? After 45 years of keeping it a secret from his own family, a Gulf Coast man's declining health has given him a reason to write a book and leave his legacy. Calvin Parker is now ready to tell the story of the event that would change his life forever.
Do you ever get any feelings or flashbacks when you come out here?
No, it's changed. It's hard to feel anything when you come out here.
What the heck? Hold on a minute. I don't know why it's buffering, guys. Let me start it over. There we go.
The whole experience? Think it happened?
I think something happened down there. I'm not at all sure what happened.
Something happened to him, the way they were upset. You don't fake fear. You know, he was scared. He was scared out of his mind.
In 1973, Calvin Parker was 19, a hard worker who just wanted to build a home and raise a family. But those plans would be derailed during a fishing trip in Pascagoula.
A real bright beam appeared all over us, but it kind of blinded me for a second. And when I got my vision back, I seen three bulky looking creatures coming toward us.
Parker will tell you, because of this night, he spent the last 45 years in hiding, scared to face the curious and unrelenting public eye.
We'd get up and go to work in the morning. Nobody would never know, and they won't make us out to be idiots.
But after suffering a stroke and having 2 open heart surgeries, in a rare interview, Parker is recounting to me the night that changed his life.
We pulled up, and I noticed there was posted signs there. And I said, Charlie, you know, maybe we don't need to go fishing here. He said, no, that's fine. And that's when I noticed some blue hazy lights reflecting coming across from my back, out across the water. So I stood up thinking that I was going to go to jail for trespassing.
Just north of where Ingalls Shipyard now sits, Parker and his fishing buddy, 42-year-old Charles Hickson, would do anything but fish that night.
I seen 3 bulky looking creatures coming toward us, and they was probably 4.5, 5 foot tall. They built like football players, but I noticed they kind of moved mechanical wise, and they was floating off the ground. By the time we stood up and turned around, they was there on us all at one time. So 2 of them got a hold of Charlie, 1 of them got a hold of myself, and instantly I felt like that I just got relaxed.
Parker claims he and Hickson were levitated into the spacecraft.
There was an examination room, what I call it. And the old big ugly creature that brought me in, he took me and laid me on the examination table. And he just backed up out of the way. I couldn't move or anything. All I could do was look. And there was something about the size of a deck of cards that came out of the ceiling, and it hovered about a foot in front of my eyes. And then it went to the right side of my head, and it clicked, went behind my head, and it clicked, went to the left side of my head and clicked, and then straight to the front, and then it shot back up in the ceiling. And that's when I noticed some kind of little ruffling noise, and this more feminine looking creature came out. She looked completely different than the what I call the robot, because he moved like a robot, just mechanical wise. She looked kind of feminine looking and had fingers, regular fingers, and all. Come over and pinched me on the side of the cheek. And then she took her finger and run down my throat and got behind that little thing that hangs down back there and tried to come up in my nasal cavity. And that was when it started hurting and I started choking and I got scared. And she just kind of telepathically told me, you know, don't be afraid, we're not going to hurt you.
And with those words, Parker says the aliens dropped he and Hickson back off on the bank. Frozen in fear, Parker didn't want to let anyone know what happened. Hickson, however, said they had to tell somebody, so they called the Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
And I said, could I help you? He said, yeah, I've had something happen, but said, You gonna laugh if I tell you what it is. I said, look, fella, go ahead and tell me I'm busy. What happened? He said, I got picked up by a UFO. I laughed.
Uh-oh, buffering. Sorry, guys. I know what's going on with my connection. Just hold on a second here. You should kick back in. Oh, it shouldn't have
Hey, I
that.
just read an unbelievable article in the Epic Times. Take a look. It's an
It shouldn't be on there. Okay.
Gah!
I don't know
Is
why
that
it's
what your
doing
back is
ads.
saying
Hold
right
on.
now? Roll away the pain on the chirp wheel.
He said, I told you he was gonna laugh.
Still, former Jackson County Captain Glenn Ryder told the men to come into the station.
Jackson County deputies had two choices that night. They could choose to believe Parker and Hickson had really been taken from the banks of the Pascagoula River like they said, or they could figure out if they were lying. So deputies stuck a secret tape recorder inside an interrogation room back at the station, and it's what they heard on those tapes that made them believe the two were not lying.
And they were upset. I figured they'd say, well, look, we got these guys food, but it wasn't that. They were still. The boy especially was upset.
The men would take lie detector tests and pass. Ufologists and researchers flew in right away to interview and hypnotize the two, concluding they did experience something traumatic. The two were even sent to Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi to make sure they weren't radioactive.
It's a circus, media circus.
Within days, the story went global. After the two were checked out, former WALA TV reporter Rene Brabner caught up with them.
Up at the emergency room door, there's a line of sheriff's cars out there. We went in with our cameras going, and at least for the first time saw the two guys.
Brabner says to this day, it's still something viewers never seem to forget.
There's a reason that they'll say, well, didn't you cover those guys getting on the UFO? What do you think? Most of the stories you do, they're gone tomorrow, the next day, or whenever. And it's always intrigued me a little bit that had some legs, some interest, particularly years and years and years later.
Like Captain Ryder, Brabner too believes something happened that night, but he isn't sure what.
I do not think they made it up in the sense that they created out of whole cloth. I have been told that particularly Hickson was known to take a drink. Was it at the bottom of a bottle of John Barleycorn? I don't know.
Charles Hickson wrote a book on his encounter and spoke numerous times about it. He passed away in 2011. Parker says he's a religious man and believes there's an explanation why he went through what he did. For now, he still ponders why it happened to him.
You can't really pin everything down. You don't really know. And that's the point I'm holding now. I don't know what happened. I know something happened.
Sorry about the bad Wi-Fi, guys. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi connection, but that guy there, Calvin Parker, when he initially was questioned after the actual abduction event, when they went to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, he claimed that he was completely unconscious for the entire event. He was backed up on that claim by Charles Hickson. So when he comes out now and all of a sudden says all these details due to the fact that he was holding it back all these years, that could very well be the case. That maybe he just didn't want to talk about it, and he finally came clean. Now, I have to say honestly, most people don't want to talk about being abducted because it's a very personal thing. When something comes into your house in the middle of the night and you're sleeping, paralyzes you, and then removes you from your sleep into a ship or a craft, and then performs experiments, I would find that extremely personal. What do you think, Tommy?
I absolutely agree. And to go a little bit further to your point, I think that just talking about the UFO subject as a rule is kind of a sort of a taboo subject for a lot of people. You know, I know that, as I've said before, as a government employee, I mean, I had experiences, but I had to keep my mouth shut for fear of ridicule or even losing my job, you know. That being said, this story is very famous, and this is a very known thing. What really strikes me about this story is the fact that they whisked these guys off to have them tested for radiation. Now, I can't see them doing that unless there was some credibility or something to their story that would make them say, hey, we better get these guys tested. Because especially back then, that wasn't an easy thing to do.
Right. Because we have a tendency to withdraw from society in regards to painful situations, we tend to hide things, I think. And then there comes a point where you need to tell someone, and it doesn't always go well. I mean, I've noticed within the ufology community that the subject of alien abduction is very controversial and doesn't get a lot of play, but it seems to be a real phenomenon, and things are actually going through it. What do you think, Nicole?
I think most definitely. I mean, like I said before, there's got to be some reality to it. And I mean, if they put all these guys and stuff through these tests, I mean, if someone's not going to actually believe them, they're not going to go through all that. So there has to be, you know, some non-fabrication to all this.
Right, exactly. I would think it would be a very scary situation. And these people, there are people out in the world that I see all the time saying, oh, I wish somebody would come and land and take me away on their ship. Well, how do you know they're not taking you away as a food source? I definitely wouldn't ride away on a ship. Not unless I knew for certain. No. What do you think, Jax?
Well, I think it's a very scary situation. I mean, you know, there's studies being done and people coming out and they don't want to say anything because of the fact that there are studies done saying that sleep, what is it called? Sleep disorder.
Sleep disorder or sleep paralysis is causing the
hallucinations, so to speak, if that's what you want to call it.
Right.
And take it a step further. It's like that's even with paranormal investigating, like with investigating ghosts. You know, they're paralyzed in bed. It's the same situation.
Right.
So what exactly is going on?
See, that's the thing. A lot of people won't come out because of the sleep disorder paralysis diagnosis, because they don't want to be labeled as being crazy. And that's pretty much it. And they don't want to have what happened to them be discredited with that type of diagnosis, especially if they feel it was legitimate encounter. I have to refer to Bud Hopkins, and a shout out to the late John Mack and the late Bud Hopkins. They were both pioneers in the field in regards to studying and researching alien abduction. And I do know that John Mack was a professor at Harvard, and he was a skeptic in the beginning and became a true believer in the phenomenon after a few years and wrote several books in regards to the subject. John Mack was the leading reason why I got interested in the abduction phenomenon, because he was very credible, being that he had a PhD at Harvard, and I think the PhD was in like psychology or something like that. So he was able to understand the human mind and how it worked. And that was interesting in that fact. Okay. Bud Hopkins, he was definitely a skeptic at one point, but he turned into a major proponent in the field in regards to alien abduction, and he did loads of work. And I remember he said that there is something going on. It is a definite thing. It is definitely going on, and it is not sleep paralysis or sleep disorder. In some cases, it may be, but in this case, it probably is not.
People are describing the same thing over and over again. They're describing the beings as being the same. The situations are even similar. I mean, and these are credible people. These aren't just crackpots off that are screaming Bible verses on the street corner. We're talking about credible human beings here.
Although there are people from, say, middle of the tribal jungles of Africa, right?
Yep.
Reporting the same type of abduction experience that we see in the United States, or we see in Australia, or we see in Britain. It's happening all over.
Universal.
They're pretty similar. Yeah. Now, I guess in 1954, Dwight D. Eisenhower had a secret meeting with some beings that landed, supposedly, and made a treaty in exchange for technology. And then the beings would get the ability to abduct a certain number of people in the public and do examinations and physical, medical examinations and physical experimentation. But they would have to return these people back to their origin, wherever they took them from, and wipe their memory. Problem with that is a lot of people have fragmented memory and they remember some things. And then you got people that are remembering everything.
Right. And don't forget too now that Eisenhower also held meetings off planet, according to some reports.
I heard that too. And I also heard that there were also meetings at Holloman Air Force Base as well. There have been several treaties. The only problem is every time that the United States, and I'm speaking mainly for the U.S., every time the U.S. has made a treaty with an off-world visitor, the off-world visitors have violated the treaty. In regards to the Greada Treaty that was done in 1954, it was violated because there was a set number of people that they were going to allow to be abducted, which was 10,000 people. And it went way over that, like 100,000 or more. And it is still continuing to this day. Why they're doing it, the theory is that it's for hybridization to extend the longevity of their race, that their race is dying out, and they're trying to instill emotion and some of the qualities that human beings have where other races do not. Maybe a race on another planet is more focused on intellectual things and they're not emotional. So that kind of gets bred out of them. So when they come here, they try to hybridize and try to reinstill the emotion.
Or maybe the other beings are too primitive.
Could be. Or they could be just as elevated in technology as we are. What do you think, Jax? I see you looking. What do you think?
Well, let me ask the panel: Does everyone agree that we could be higher intelligence than them?
I think in some cases, yes. What do you think, Tommy?
Very possible. Very possible. I mean, when you think about, and this is one of the reasons that I believe that we haven't had any kind of serious disclosure yet, and one of many, but let's say if the government were to come out tomorrow and say, okay, well, we've been lying to you the whole time. Roswell's real, Kecksburg's real, all these other things are real. We've had contact with aliens and all of that, but we've had crashes and all that. Now, how do you explain alien abduction? Talk about spreading a panic. When you tell a lot of people out there that they could be abducted from their beds when there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it, if they actually believe that, you're going to cause a panic like that we've never seen before. And let's be honest, from what we've seen lately, we know how to panic.
Right. And that goes along with implants. And a lot of implants Roger Lear, when he found all those implants, those were left over from abductions. So, but the thing I have is this, and I have some overlays that I want to put up. In abductions, some of the marks look reminiscent of human medical marks. So it goes along with the theory that alien beings on board their ships are working with human counterparts, or the theory that we're using anti-gravity craft in the United States and we're faking abductions and doing medical experiments on our own populace. So let me get to some of those marks and let me bring them up. Some of them are kind of really cool. Here's one. A lady woke up with 3 dots on her upper leg in the shape of a triangle, which is pretty common. Here's another one, a grid mark. This is pretty common. It looks like he got burned. Okay. Here's one here. 7 burns from an abduction case, 2 witnesses to missing time. The shape of a triangle. They look more like punchers to me.
They do to me too.
Or suction marks.
Yeah, and then here, these are fluorescent marks. You can only be seen. Isn't that interesting? Here's a mark that came from an abduction. It's a bruise, but it has a grid pattern on it. That looks more human-made to me.
Yeah, it looks like someone got hit by a belt buckle.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Kind of, yeah. Here's one here, a circle around a dot. Circle of dots. This one I found interesting because it's like a raised bruise with a grid pattern on it. Here's one. This guy's got a weird pattern of diamonds on his back. Do you see that right here on the middle of his back?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I'd hate to wake up with that. Now, this is the one that makes me think that it was a human medical device because it looks like a targeting system that targeted a certain area and burned the skin. Just like this one. These were all found in the morning after a supposed abduction event. This one as well. This one looks like a burn, but it fluoresces, which is really interesting. Then there's this one here. This is one on the shoulder of the mark. That reminds me of a targeting mark from like a camera they use for targeting cancer cells.
Yep.
That's why I thought that was more of a human mark. Now this one I want to show because this one indicates that they don't just leave children alone. Here's one of a child with grid patterns going down his arm.
Yep.
And that is horrible. They're abducting our children. And it's all in families, I hear.
Yep.
Now, I have just a really layman question there. That couldn't be like an allergy test grid mark.
No, I know what an allergy test grid mark is because I've had it done to myself. No, these are not. These have been, according to the mother, she went to bed that night and she heard her child crying. She went to his room. He was missing. She searched the house, came back to the room, and the baby was returned with marks. Okay. So I would say no, I don't know. I really don't know. This guy woke up with 3 puncture wounds on his foot, shape of a triangle. That could be anything, really.
Yeah.
But what I want to bring up is this one. A lot of people talk about having scoop marks done on their legs. Now, I know I have one. Scoop marks are indicators of what they call, it's like a what do you call it, Nicole? It's a cell biopsy, right?
Right. I know what you're talking about.
Like a lumpectomy,
Mm-hmm.
where they take a scoop out to test the cell structure.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this is. And I do know for a fact that a lot of people claim that this has happened. In fact, if you watch the movie Intruders, in the movie Intruders, there's a woman in there that has a scoop mark on her leg. And she finds out later that her sister had the same scoop mark in the same spot.
Wow.
So it seems like they're harvesting tissue to test it for whatever. It could be for poisoning, it could be for environmental radiation, it could be for anything like that. But go ahead, Nicole.
I was just gonna let you know this is a very interesting topic. Wish I could stay around, but I do have my own little things to investigate this evening. It was nice to meet everyone, but I
Nice
do
to
have
have
to
you.
head out before the tide gets me.
Okay, you take care, Nicole. Thank you for being on the panel.
Thank you. Nice
Thanks
to meet
for
you.
having- Thank you too. Thanks for having me up.
See you later. Good luck. Okay, we're down to 3. Okay. All right. What I was saying is these 2 ladies in the Intruders movie had scoop marks, and they both realized that they had been through the same type of abduction scenario at the same time. That abductions seem to run in families, and only certain people are chosen. It's not everyone.
Certain genetic profiles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jax, have you had any missing time in your life?
No. But that's another correlation between UFOs and aliens and
Ghosts?
Yeah. But I do have a scoop mark on my toe.
So that you may have been abducted and may not know, because the fact is that the agreement was made with Dwight D. Eisenhower to prevent people from remembering. So amnesia would be set in, and you were given probably screen memories. And if you have any fears of any type of things like owls or wolves or anything like that, that would indicate a screen memory. But yeah.
But it's like even like I can even take it a step further. No, I'm stretching here, but it could be possible. Who knows? But just like you were talking about everyone getting devices inserted a little bit ago.
Right.
So
right.
that what is that all about? Is that part of the treaty? Is that so the United States can track everyone that gets abducted? And what about the United States Space Force? Is that to go to retrieve them, or is that to drop us off?
See that there's a lot of conspiracy there. What I'm going to say is this: in regards to the tracking devices, a lot of the tracking devices that were removed by Roger Lear were made on Earth. They are actually RFID chips. In fact, there are a lot of photographs in regards to that, and they were made here. So, are we providing technology for aliens to implant them, or are we implanting them and faking the alien abduction? I don't know. Those 2 theories exist. In regards to what you said, in regards to your other comment, I don't really have a clue in that regard. I really don't. But I do know that a lot of people are ending up with weird marks. Back in 2009, I had an experience where I woke up the next morning with a welt in the middle of my sternum, and it was in a circle. It was raised, and it had 6 puncture wounds. Looked like a vaccination. I went to the doctor about a week later because it was itching, and he took a look at it, and he said, "Well, you've been vaccinated." And he said, "I have no idea what you're vaccinated for, because it's a weird spot to vaccinate somebody, right on the sternum, right in the middle of your chest, So I said, well, I haven't been vaccinated that I'm aware of ever on my chest. Well, he said, well, you have, and there's nothing you can do about that. It is fact, and we've got it in your medical records now.
Wow.
So it's still there to this day. It has not gone away. I don't know what it is. It's still there. I've even had a point where my girlfriend noticed that I had what looked like 2 suture marks on the back of my left ear. And I had that checked as well. And the doctor said, you've had surgery on your ear. And I said, no, I haven't. And he said, yes, you have. So you see, I've had encounters as well, obviously, because I have no idea where this happened or why. So I think people are out there asking, why is this happening to me? How can I prevent it from happening? And I think we're all in the same boat right now. We're all trying to figure out, how can we stop it? The thing is with our technology, we're not able to stop it.
Right.
Their technology, they can walk through walls. We cannot phase shift. And even if we could we stop them? That'd be like trying to stop a ghost like Jax investigates down here at Paranormal Underworld. Do you stop a ghost? You can with rituals, but you can't grab one. So if you have an alien that phase shifts, how are you going to grab them? So you're not going to be able to do it. So the best thing to do, and I recommend this to all experiencers, which they are now called, not abductees, to go out and find a local support group that deals with that subject and actually get into that group and discuss what happened to you so that you can try and deal with it, because it may be a reoccurring thing. I want to welcome some of the people in the chat room. Scratch, Aine, Elizabeth Miles, and Bobby Belindi. Good to see you again. Anyways, I think it's time for us to bring up on the screen our free drawing. So I'm going to add this to the stream. This is our drawing wheel. And when I draw the name, all I have to do is spin the wheel. And when I draw the name, it will announce the name and some fireworks will go off. And that person will be the winner of a 24 by 36 inch custom UFO Man poster of their choice. So here we go.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
Heidi Fairclough, you're the winner of a brand new 24 by 36 inch poster. Okay. Next month, we're going to be doing another drawing. And I hope all of you can attend that drawing, but I have to play this first. Here, add to stream. Watch this. Oh, great. My Wi-Fi is
outstanding.
Yeah, next time you enter, good luck to you. that's my dancing astronaut. I hope everybody liked him. I had that worked up about a week ago. So, all righty. So Heidi Fairclough, congratulations on winning a poster. You'll probably get it shipped to you within the next week or two because I have to send it to Britain. So anyways, getting back to our UFO abduction talk, we are going to play a segment of the Betty and Barney Hill hypnosis session. This will show you some proof because this man is recounting in his own words through hypnosis.
Terrified.
Yeah, what happened to him. And you may need to turn up your volume a little. I'm not sure, but it is his actual voice. This is Barney Hill. Oops. Okay, here we go. Add stream. Here we go. Oh, great. I love my Wi-Fi.
Far asleep.
Yeah, turn up your volume a little bit.
Deeper and deeper. Fully relaxed. All muscles are relaxed. You're comfortable. Relaxed. You will not be anxious or distressed, but you will remember everything and you will tell me everything. Yes. I think I will stop. I will stop. And I have not stopped. And Betty said, look, there's a star moving. And I look and I see a star. Funny. But I said, Betty, that's a satellite. We are seeing a satellite. And then I pulled over to the side of the road. And Betty jumped off her side, on her side, with the binoculars. And I got the chain. And I hooked it to the dog on her collar. And I say, come on, Dulcie, let's get out. She jumps out. And I look toward the sky, and I look back to Dulcie and walk her around the trunk of the car. And I'm saying, hurry up, Betty, so I can get a look. And Betty passes the binoculars to me. And I see that this is not a satellite. It is an airplane. It is an airplane you can see. I think you can see the rows of windows. And it is an airplane. And I tell Betty this and give the binoculars back to her. And I am satisfied. And I drive, and Betty is still looking, and she says, Barney, that is not a plane. It is still following us. And I stop, and I look, and I see it is still out there, off in the distance. So I search for a place to pull off the road. And I see a dirt road to the right of the main highway. And I think this is a good place I can pull off. And if any car comes, it won't strike me. And I am thinking, this is strange, because it is still there. And Betty said, I think she said, I am mad with her. I said, I believe Betty is trying to make me think this is a flying saucer. Was it light enough to see? It was just a light moving through the sky, and I heard no noise. And I think, this is ridiculous. And Betty, it is not a flying saucer. What are you doing that for? You want to believe in this thing, and I don't. And I can't hear any sound. No sound, whatever. I want to hear a jet. Oh, I want to hear a jet so badly. I want to hear it. Why do you want to hear a jet? Because Betty is making me mad. She is making me angry because she is saying, look at that. It's strange. It's not a plane. Look at it. And I keep thinking it's got to be. And I want to hear a hum. I want to hear a motor. How far away was it? It was, it wasn't far. It was about 1,000 feet, I guess. 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet. Did it go back and forth, or did it go in circles like a plane does? It would go toward the west, and without looking as if it turned, it would come straight back. It would go like a, I think of a paddle and a ball with a rubber. And you hit the ball, and the ball goes straight out and comes straight back without a circle. And I think only a jet could fly that fast. And I am hoping I can find a good place where I can stop and really see this thing, whatever it is. And I see a wigwam, and I recognize this place, and I feel safe. I feel less in the barren hostility. What is this place? Wooded area. What is this place? It is Indian Head. I had been there before, and I feel comforted that I see a familiar place. And I think I will get a good look at this, because Betty was very annoying. She was annoying by telling me, look, and I can't look. I have to drive the car. I want to wake up. You're not going to wake up. You're in a deep sleep. You're comfortable. Relax. This is not going to trouble you. Go on. You can can remember everything now. It's right over my right. God. What is it? And I try to maintain control so Betty cannot tell I am scared. God, I'm scared. It's all right. You can go right on, experience it. It will not hurt you now. I got to get my gun. Oh! All right. All right. That's all. Go to sleep, Steve. You forget now. Oh, you forget it now. You've forgotten. Calm now. Relax. Deeply relaxed. Deeply relaxed. You will not have to make any outcry. But you can remember it now. Keep remembering. You feel you have to get your gun. This is going to harm you, you felt. I opened the trunk of my car. Did I get it? Did I get back in the car? All right. Just keep reasonably calm. And I put it in my coat. And then I get out with the binoculars. And it is there. And I look. And I look. And it shifts over. And I think, I'm not afraid. I'll shoot it down if I'm not afraid. And I walk out, and I walk across the road. There it is up there. Oh, God damn it! Calm down. Calm down. It's there, but you can see it, but it's not going to hurt you. Go on. Why doesn't it go away? Look at it. Calm. Not gonna hurt you. There's a man. Is he a captain? What is he? You gotta look at me. Just a minute. Let's go back a little bit now. You say it's there. Did you say it was 1,000 feet away? Oh, no. 1,000 yards? It doesn't look that far. It's very big. And it's not that far. And I can see it tilted toward me. Tilted? What does it look like now when you say tilted? Did you see wings? Looks like a big pancake with windows and rows of windows and lights of not light, just one huge light. And rows of windows like a commercial plane? Rows of windows. They're not like a commercial plane because they curve around to the size of this pancake. And I say, my God, no. I have to shake my head. I got to, it can't be true. This isn't there. Oh, it's still there. And I look up and down the road. Can't somebody come and tell me this is not there? It can't be. And it's all, you're still asleep, but you can see it all clearly. It's there. You're sure it's there? Yeah. You weren't having a dream? It's there. You'd had no sleep that evening? I touch my right arm. It's not my right, it's my left arm. And then I touch my right arm, and it is my left arm. I'm confused. You're clear now. You're relaxed. It's still there. If I let my binoculars fall and dangle from my neck and then start over again, maybe it won't be there. But it is. Why? What do they want? What do they want? One person looks friendly. He's friendly looking, and he's looking at me over his right shoulder, and he's smiling. Could you see him clearly? Yes, I thought. What's his face like? What does it make you think of? It's round. I think of a redhead Irishman. I don't know why, but I think I know why. Because Irish are usually hostile to Negroes, and when I see a friendly Irish person, I react to it by thinking I will be friendly. And I think this one that is looking over his shoulder is friendly. You say looking over his shoulder. Was he facing away from you? Yes, he was facing a wall. And you saw him through this window? Or you said there was a row of windows. It was a row of windows. Just a huge row of windows, only divided by struts or structures that prevented it from being one solid window. Or then it would have been one solid window. And the evil face on he looks like a German Nazi. He is a Nazi. Did he have on a uniform? Yes. What kind of uniform? It was black. He had a black scarf around his neck, dangling over his left shoulder. You pointed it out as if it were on you. I never noticed that before. He had a black scarf on his neck. How could you see these figures so clearly at that distance? I was looking at him with binoculars. Oh. Mm-hmm. Did they have faces like other people? You say one reminded you of a red-headed Irishman. His eyes were slanted. I see it. Oh, his eyes were slanted. But not like a Chinese. What was Betty doing all this time? I'm not close to her. I don't know. You're out there by yourself, huh? You don't think of her. Is she saying anything? I can't hear her. Did you make any outcry to her, the way you did to me? I can't remember. I don't know. I did not. You would remember it if you did. I did not. That, I know this creature, this leader is telling me something. He's telling you something. How? How is he getting it to you? I can see it in his face. Do you see his lips move? Yes. No, his lips aren't moving. Yes, go on. He's telling you. And he's looking at me. What did he tell you? Stay there and keep looking. Just keep looking and stay there. And just keep looking. Just keep looking. Could you hear him tell you? Oh, I got to pull these binoculars away from my eyes. Because if I don't, I'll just keep staying there. Could you hear him tell you this? Oh, no, he didn't say it. You felt he said it. I know. You know he said it. Just there, yeah. Just stay there, he's saying to me. All right. I'll dig in my head. Just pull the binoculars away. God, give me strength. All right. Pull it down. Run. Pull these binoculars down and run. God. If there's my God, give me strength. I gotta get away. Oh. Betty. All right. You gotta get away, Betty. All right. Calm down. Calm down. I'm trying. I gotta get away. How could you be sure he was telling you this? Calm down, you're still asleep. How could you be sure he was telling you this? His eyes. His eyes. I've never seen his eyes before. But you said they were friendly. You said they were friendly. Oh, no. Not the leaders. I said only the one looking over his shoulder. Oh, I see. The leader was friendly. How did you know the other one was the leader? Because everybody moved. Everyone was standing there looking at me. But everybody moved to these levers or in the back, or they went to this big board. It looked like a board. And only this one with the black shiny jacket and the scarf stayed at the window. I'm driving. You going back into the car now? Yes. You put down your binoculars, did you? I got them down. Yes. When you got into the car, did you speak to Betty? Getting a hold of myself. I'm saying, hold to myself. Don't panic. You got great fortitude. You can drive the car. And I told Betty to look out. The object was still around us. I could feel it around us. I saw it when we passed by the object. When I got into the car, it had swung around so that it was out there. I knew it was out there. Yeah, it's out there. But I don't know where. I'm lost. Yes, Speak a little louder. I know Route 3. Oh, those guys. They're there in my brain. Oh, please. Can I wake up? Stay asleep a little longer. Oh. We'll get through this now, all right. We'll get through it all right. All of your feelings, tell me. It won't upset you so much. There. Isn't that funny? Out of the woods. Yes. That crazy dog. She stays in the car all the time. That's funny. Stays in the car. She doesn't bark, do anything? She just stays there. What about Betty? I don't know. Isn't she saying anything? Oh. I don't understand. Are we being robbed? I don't know. What makes you think you're being robbed? I know what's in my mind and I don't want to say it. Well, you can say it to me. You can say it now. They're men, all with black jackets. And I don't have any money. I don't have anything. I don't know. Oh. The eyes are there. Always the eyes are there. And they're telling me I don't have to be afraid. Is there an accident down the road? What's the red? The bright red. Bright red? Yeah. What is that? Orange and red. Where is that? Right down the road. Down the road. I don't have to be afraid. But they won't talk to me. Who won't talk to you? The men. In the vehicle? No, they're standing in the road. And where are you? You're in the car? No. I'm just suspended. I'm just floating about. Oh, how funny. Float about. Floating. Nothing. I want to get back to the car, but just floating about. You really floating about, or is that the way you feel? The way I feel. You're still outside of the car? No. You're in the car. I'm not in the car. I'm not near the car. I'm not in the woods. I'm not on the road.
Well, where are these men?
I don't know.
On the road.
I don't know. I'm just floating about. Oh, geez. That's the funniest thing, Betty. Funniest thing. I never believed in flying saucers, but I don't know. Mighty mysterious. Yeah. Well, I guess I won't say anything to anybody about this. It's too ridiculous, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it's really funny. Wonder where they came from. Oh, geez, I wish I had gone with them.
You wish you had gone with them?
Yes. Oh, what a experience to go to some distant planet. Maybe this will prove the existence of God. Isn't that funny? You look for the existence of God in other planets. Were you scared? I wasn't. No, I wasn't afraid. It wasn't anything anyway. Look at very ridiculous this you and I talking about it. Well, we're getting into Portsmouth a little later than I expected.
All right, we'll stop there. We'll be.
Very interesting.
Yeah, you could hear the fear in his voice, and that definitely indicated proof of an actual alien abduction event. On the way home to Portsmouth, they heard beeping sounds. The ship supposedly flew over their car when it was going away, and Betty and Barney heard beeping sounds in their car. And then they heard beeping sounds again, like about 10 minutes later, and they were 75 miles farther along on the highway, and they don't know how they got there. So that's their missing time. And in this hypnotic regression, they did not go into that. Now, someone in the chat was saying, are we going to hear Betty Hill's hypnotic regression? We will at a future live stream, but this was such a long hypnotic regression. We thought we would limit it to just Barney Hill tonight, but we will do Betty in the future. And that way you can hear Betty's version of her memories in regards to the actual account and how she came across that star map. That star map she was shown, where reticuli 1 and 2 were located. And back when she got the star map, that area of the galaxy hadn't even been discovered by NASA yet.
Right.
So it was very interesting, and it was verified by NASA that it was an actual map. It matched what NASA found. So yeah, Betty's version is very good, Bobby Broadway. Yes, I agree with you. She's calmer. But the reason I showed Barney's is because it shows the innate fear that is in each and every one of us in regards to our flight or fright mechanism. Are we going to run away, or are we going to stand our ground? Some of us would probably stand our ground and take out a sidearm. That might be Tommy. I don't know how many people would, but how would you react to a situation like that, Jax?
I don't know. I mean, the guy was definitely afraid. He experienced something.
How would you react though if you were that guy?
I don't know.
Would you have gone along with him like he said, or would you have gotten away?
You know, I can say this now because I'm not under any type of hypnosis or anything like that, but I've always said that if they came, I would go willingly. Just come take me. But I say that now. Things
Right.
might change when, I'm in this,
Where you're confronted with the actual event. Right.
Right.
See, I keep thinking that I would run out and get real close to it, kind of like Travis Walton did. You know how he got out of the truck and went over to the disc and looked up at it? And I always thought I'd be kind of like that. The only problem is I've seen that movie, and no, I've reversed my decision. I wouldn't do that. I'd probably stay at a safe distance and look at it. Yes. But I don't think I'd want them to take me with them. No. What about you, Tommy?
No, I'm not going. Not willingly, but I mean, don't get me wrong. It could be. It's probably the most fantastic thing that a human being could ever experience. I'm sure about that. And if you believe in what happened in Close Encounters and all that, we did send some ambassadors, to another planet. But
yeah, that was Planet Serpo.
I just don't. I don't think I have the. I don't have the stones for it. I just don't. I mean, I don't think I could do it.
That one you were mentioning was called Planet Serpo. Allegedly, we sent 10 people, and only 6 came back because 1 died on the trip to the planet, and 2 stayed on planet. They didn't leave; they stayed there. So, and I guess they were debriefed for like a year after they came back. Now, if this is a legitimate trip, it has been kept secret for decades because we only hear shirt tail stories about it. We don't hear a lot about it. But Ryan McGee says, I would love to share a cheesesteak with an alien. I have to honestly say, Ryan, I don't even know if they would eat meat, although I hear that there are some that do.
Have you ever seen the movie Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams? I think it is. In the end, he gets abducted by aliens and they give him some space drugs and all. It's funny as hell. You should see it.
Yeah, I might want to watch that one. Another good movie I heard of recently is called Sputnik. You need to check that one out as well. I have, let's see here, what was I going to play now? I want to play a clip by a UFO researcher.
Let's go.
I would say he's loosely called a UFO researcher, but his name is Alex Collier. This is a short video clip. I need you to listen to it, and then afterwards we'll discuss it. Okay? So let's see here. Add to stream. I have a tendency to talk out loud. Here we go. Oh no, not again. Phone rings.
B&H, how can I help you?
B&H is here.
My ad block must have got enabled again. Here we go.
Several days, much of the Cassini project has been classified. The reason for that is because of all the mothership activity that has now been filmed and documented in the Saturnian system around.
This was filmed in 2007, so you need to take it from that aspect.
Saturn. We also have 1.5 million miles off of the South Pole, a 20-mile craft that has sat and is stationary. NASA and other organizations, telescopes have been monitoring it for 8 months. They watched its trajectory to us. It is now stationary, and there are craft going in and out of this 20-mile structure. I don't know any more about it than that. We have known that there's been a cover-up of what there is on the moon and inside our solar system. We know this. We know that there is extraterrestrial life. We know this. That is no longer the discussion. We know that the government has become corrupt. Okay? The people, the personages that rule the planet are not us. They are not human beings. And I will say this with my very last breath. They are not us. Okay? Now, what happened was that they took over because they think holographically. It was very easy to get around the pyramidal power structure on Earth because it's completely obsolete everywhere else out there. So if you come in using a holograph, using holographic technology, but thinking, what you do is you create your structure everywhere, so no matter what happens, whether one group gets taken out, another group takes out, is gone, the other components are still there to rise up and still manage and control, because each of these components have a picture of the whole, and they have all the technology and everything they need to continue to control and dominate and brainwash. Okay? We're over our heads here, but we're not alone. Now, what happened was they took over. It was very easy to take over the governments. You dangle technology, you dangle knowledge, you dangle ancient history, and you give them this technology in secret. Okay? You have it. We're going to give it to you. The United States of America made this mistake. So, Bob Dean, again, Mr. Dean made a reference yesterday to the missing trillions of dollars from the Federal Reserve. Okay, I have been told that it's $24 trillion is what they carry on their books. And virtually most of that has gone into the secret space program and the colonization of our solar system. You can choose to believe that or not. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't change the reality of it. Okay? So what happened was the pirates took over the ship. Okay? The governments, realizing that they had all this technology and that they were 1,000 years more advanced than we were, instead of telling everyone, hey, we have a problem here, and standing tall and doing the right thing, they joined the pirates.
That pretty much says it all. The government made a pact with whoever landed here for technology and sold us out. And because of that, they've covered it up with one lie after another for decades. And now they've dug themselves such a hole, it's hard for them to dig themselves out of it and admit to what the truth is. What do you think, Jax?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's a lot, that whether if we're in cahoots with them or not, it doesn't really matter, because I think that majority of the civilizations that are out there, and to think that there isn't is quite naive, considering that there's how many, hundreds of thousands of millions of galaxies with how many planets?
Right. Plus now they're thinking that our thinking of the galaxy being infinite is actually thinking too small, that it's even beyond that. So if you think it's even beyond infinite, wow, makes the galaxy look huge. And if you refer to the movie Men in Black, I think it was Men in Black 2, where they show the aliens in the locker, and then they open up the locker at the end, and they're standing in the locker and they're seeing a huge alien, right? Or in the first movie where the alien picks up the marble and it has our galaxy in it. That makes you think. If if there's a galaxy in a marble and we're that marble, wow, the galaxy has got to be huge, the universe. And what we think of as a universe could actually just be one universe.
Right.
There could be many, 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 many universes, just like there are many dimensions. And I guess scientists are just coming up with more and more dimensions lately. And they're trying to figure out how can we use dimensions to travel. And they may have discovered that. I don't know. If we ever do, we're going to be interstellar travelers. And that would be really cool. Lakeem Muhammad, thank you very much for the super sticker. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for sharing. You're more than welcome. Thank you for coming. I have to say, Tommy, I need to get your opinion on this. Oh, you want me to ask you exactly? Okay, my opinion is, do you believe that there are multiverses?
It's possible. I mean, if you look at the Mandela effect, and if I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the Mandela effect is basically a situation where a certain portion of the population believe that he died and there was a big funeral and all of that while he was in prison. He was never released, okay? And then, like I remember it, he was released. Right. So it depends on who you talk to. So it's possible that this is one of those things where, you know, two universes collided, two realities collided. I mean, who knows? Einstein did theorize that it was possible.
Right. Lakeem says, these ETs, from my understanding, are right here from Earth. Well, from my understanding, Lakeem, there are beings that have been here all along from the beginning of creation in our record keeping. But then again, I've also heard that there are beings that are coming here. And several races. In fact, the Book of Alien Races that came out was released a few years ago. I guess it was released from the Russian KGB in regards to a number of alien races. And I guess there's like 300 races in there. And I've also heard and read that the Secret Space Force, which is now the Space Force, has been dealing with over 900 races. So there could be, and they're all off-world. They're not on the Earth. So to answer your question is, there are more than just the ones that are here. There are ones out there. There are ones possibly time traveling, and there are other ones that are possibly interdimensionally traveling. We don't know. There are theories that they're using wormholes to travel, but that I think is based on human physics and our guessing as to how they do it. What do you think, Tommy?
Agreed. Everything that we have right now is strictly speculation on how they're getting here, how they're traveling, and all of that. Clearly, they're not just traveling at the speed of light or something like that. It's going to take a lot more than that. I mean, even if you can achieve the speed of light, which is theoretically supposedly impossible, it doesn't really get you anywhere. Because, you know, like Alpha Centauri is how many hundreds of light years away, or how many, 50 light, whatever it is.
It's a long ways.
Yeah, it's, you know, you're going to have to travel at the speed of light, a constant speed of light, for so many years before you get anywhere. So I don't think that's what they're doing. I think that they're either folding space, which is probably likely. That's like what Lazar was saying.
Extreme. Yep.
Or they could be using, you know, pulsars or something like that to jump back and forth, like in, you know, science fiction movies. I mean, who really knows, you know?
Right.
Right.
What do you think, Jax?
Yeah, I agree with Tommy.
Yeah, I even heard a theory that perhaps they travel in tail of comets. A few years ago, there was a comet that came over, and everybody was thinking there was a ship behind it.
Hale Bopp.
Yeah, and they were looking for the large alien craft that was supposedly flying in its wake. Now, maybe that's a possibility.
Well, that religious cult off themselves to supposedly get a ride on this thing.
Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
Heaven's Gate. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know if they ever found a ship behind the comet, but I looked for it. I never saw it, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there. It may have been cloaked. I don't know, because we're developing cloaking technology to where we can't even see a TR-3B.
Mm-hmm.
We can see its propulsion trail after it's gone, but you can't necessarily see it.
Right.
But anyways, I want to thank everyone in the chat, and I want to thank everybody on the panel. We had a really good live stream tonight. I know we're cutting it short, but we usually go about an hour and a half because Tommy has obligations and I got to let him go. So I want to thank everyone for participating in the live stream and for hanging around and to have a good evening. And I want Tommy, advertise your channel, and Jax to do the same thing. Go ahead, Tommy.
Hi guys, yeah. If you're into politics or current events or the madness that's going on in the country right now, please come over to Tommy Highway TV and subscribe. I just kicked the link out there, and I'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, Jax.
You can find me right here on YouTube, Paranormal Underworld, and you can find me also on Twitter at para_underworld.
Right, he's one of the up and coming talents in the paranormal research field. Could be the next Zach Bagans, if not better. Okay, and if you get a chance, please subscribe to my channel as well. Everyone, have a good evening and stay safe.
Thanks, folks.
Good night.